Thanks for staying with us. So, moving on now to our hot topic. There's a story that caught our attention online where a teacher took to her media page to lament how private schools are paying their teachers poorly while charging expensive school fees. According to her, each child is charged way over 250,000 naira, and teachers, unfortunately, are offered a sum of 50,000 naira. Now, many have come on social media to express their own experiences of such behaviors from their children's schools. Some have said, why do private schools pay their teachers poorly despite charging expensive school fees? Others have said that the running costs of private schools cannot be compared to that of public schools. So obviously, you can't expect to be paid the certain amounts of money. What are your own thoughts? Because many parents can almost relate to this, especially if you're a teacher in Nigeria. You can probably relate to this, working in a private school, expecting to get much more, but unfortunately not getting as much as you expect. You can call us on 080-1076-1679, 090-24163440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTV, so we can read the tweets. Let me start with the teacher amongst us. Since you have experience in this area, have you ever been in this area where you're lamenting?
Yes, of course. I remember my very first salary as a teacher was 50-something thousand naira.
That's high. That was many years ago.
You have an idea how much this school was making? It was a big school. I started from an international school. And, you know, we always had this complaint that we're poorly paid. But fortunately for us in that school was the welfare package was, aside from the salary, there was a way they were keeping our money to pay us quarterly. Okay. So it comes in lump sum, so you're able to do something meaningful with it. Yeah, I was given accommodation, you know, I was given lunch, you know, because of that kind of school. So when I look at my pay and I look at all the benefits and the fact that if my child is in the school, I just pay 25% tuition, those are some of the perks that kept us. Okay. So for schools that do not have the leverage to have some of these extra perks for the teachers and they're paying as low as that, I think it needs to be revisited. I've never seen a teacher who came home smiling at the end of every paycheck because we always felt that we're underpaid for the sort of work that you were doing. For you to become a medical doctor, you pass through a teacher. For you to become a lawyer today, you pass through a teacher. An engineer, you pass through a teacher. So that profession should be given more in terms of making them really happy to teach. I knew in the university a lot of people who were naturally gifted to teach, but they didn't want to teach because of the pay. They felt, how would I build my life if I graduate from school and I'm going as a teacher? I won't be able to make money. I won't be able to have at least the basics that I would want to have at that stage. And so it seems really, it just seems like it's getting worse as we're getting older. It's supposed to be getting better. But as a business person also, because then when we're having the conversations of, our pay as teachers, we also started hearing things like, it's a business. We have running costs. The children pay, you're calculating the amount they're paying, but it's not monthly they pay per term. And then we have to fix the classrooms, we have to do this, we have to do that. At the end of the day, we cannot pay you this amount or else we'll be running at a loss.
Oh, it's just two sides.
It's just two sides.
Let me come to you, because there's no profession that doesn't deserve better pay. Teachers like to defend that. Oh, I'm the one that teaches the doctor. Doctor who heals you. Doctor without a...
Who teach and where they heal you?
But
let's start from the foundation.
If you're not healthy, you can't stand up in class to teach in the first. So there's a particular doctor that heals you. So everybody also is very relevant in this puzzle. But let me come to you. What are your thoughts on teachers complaining, especially for private schools?
I think private schools are struggling. I think the teachers, and it happens to all staff versus the management. Most staff look at the management and just feel like they are enjoying life. We are working for them. Monkey is working, baboon is chopping. It costs like over that teaching, even in a media house like this, even in every other business. If you do not decide to wear the shoe of a CEO or a management staff, you will feel like they have it easy, they are enjoying, but we are working to help them enjoy. I think it's important that we create a modulated payment structure. We will never pay like cost reflective. Let me use the language of NERC and
Cost
our
reflective
holding.
value.
Cost effective value for the efforts and the cost of living. It will never happen. And that's why NLC is shouting, labor cannot be living off 70,000 naira minimum wage when the government are flying around the world. How would they? There will always be that disparity. But if we can create a cost reflective where I am able to, when my efforts increases the outcome of the organization, I get compensation.
Okay.
Most schools don't have that kind of structure. We don't have a structure that if the performance of your students improve, if you are able to, because I met an educationist that lives in the UK and has also worked in the US, breaking down how she's an accounting person, that the system rewards her for putting more children in school.
Yeah, I
so
heard that.
if I have 500 children in school, and I sustain 500 children and I increase to 550 by next year, I get more money allocated to me from the government, or I get more money allocated to me to be able to do more. But if I lose 50 students, then I will get a slash in my revenue. So everybody understands that we must ensure our
extra
children are learning,
incentives.
because if my children drop out from school, my salary is impacted. If my children are doing well in school, my salary is impacted. I get bonuses. If that incentive is there, everybody will know what they are working towards. Some people work in companies that their salary isn't much, but they know that when the bonus comes,
it's
the
bemo.
bonus is bemo. I can sort many major life issues with the bonus because I am achieving set goals. But
really like
what
it.
we have in salary structure in Nigeria, in most companies,
Aside from
is
that,
just
even the workers, you see, many workers, unfortunately, from when you're talking to entrepreneurs, they like to just do the minimum.
Yes.
Nobody wants to do this one of KPI.
There's no
do this
incentive
one.
to
They're
do
not
more.
even interested. Sometimes give them the incentive. They are just just let me come to work, write on the blackboard,
Do my thing and go.
and
Mark
go.
register.
Okay, let me just mark register, because many
I
of
showed
us
up.
we do a lot of other things. So even that incentive, because I know some people who have put incentives in place, but unfortunately nobody is using those incentives because they rather just do the basic minimum. You want to be paid 250,000 naira to show up, just because I'm showing up as a teacher. That in itself, that's another angle. Doesn't mean that what you're saying is not valid.
Yeah.
But let me come to you, Maka, your thoughts on this.
So I don't know, have you ever met a disgruntled teacher before? Yes. So just imagine a disgruntled teacher teaching your child. That's the problem. If body is biting somebody now, they can't impact. That's do you understand? One, so let's look at it from that angle. And then let's also look at it from the angle that teachers do more. They do a lot. Your kids spend how many hours in school
With them.
every day with them? So they're not just teachers, they're also free psychologists.
Yes, so.
Because you find out that, first of all, they're looking at the kids to make sure that this child is not being abused, this child is not having mood swings, this child is not going through the phase of adolescence and needs so special coaching or to be talked to. Like, these kids are at the phase where they are beginning to have crushes, and the teachers are not just coming to teach curriculum. They are doing so much more.
True.
Yes, the burden is on them. The kids have to trust them to be able to open up to them. A lot is going on. They are seeing everything. So I believe that they deserve to be
paid
treated
well.
more.
But Maka, have you ever met a disgruntled nurse too?
There
Think
are
of your
plenty of
father.
them.
Have you ever met a disgruntled? I mean, it's on all layers. Everybody can tell
Can
you
be disgruntled.
disgruntled. And when my service and when I'm disgruntled, it's different. So we can
You know,
play that card.
when she was just saying this thing about being disgruntled, we all know that teachers, and even BC had mentioned it before, teachers are not necessarily, salaries are just one part. But when you teach in a big school, there are
Other
perks
perks,
that
yes.
come with being in a big school. You don't go empty. At least every term, there are always things that,
Yes.
as a parent,
Plenty.
you must take care of your children, your
Yes.
teachers. So these things, they don't get it in other places. And some schools, what they get is serious.
Yeah.
I've gone to my school at the end of school year, and I see the way the teachers are carrying things to the car, come back to car, making multiple trips, taking to the car.
There was also somebody gave me one fantastic
box
gift.
full. Wow.
Fantastic gift. But because I already have it in the house, I didn't mind just keeping the two, just because it's fantastic. But some just said,
Just give it to the teacher. Yeah.
the penny was sacrificial. But I gave it because I know that she would appreciate it. So you're right, they get gifts. But there's another part we've not talked about.
Okay.
Because there's also capital expenditure on the part of the school owners.
Yes.
Because if your school doesn't look a certain way, people will not come.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, you can't just have a building and just put the regular facilities. You have to put in air conditioners, you have to service them, your school have the aesthetics must be right. If not, those people who are paying 250,000 will not pay. They'll rather go to a school that looks like this, they look abroad. You know how the schools are put on, even the post boards, the painting in the class, the classrooms, the various things you do, just to the chairs, the kinds of desks you have. These are the various things you must spend on to make the school look approachable for your target audience.
Very important, but the quality of the teachers is still what will give the end result at the end of the day. It's the learning outcomes for the children. So no matter how beautiful a school is, if you do not have quality teachers to handle the children, you are not doing anything as far as I'm concerned. The children will not be able to learn. The teachers who you have there who have not even mastered their own emotions will not be able to really give their best, because like you rightly said, being in the classroom is not like attending to one patient or the other. It's different. You have maybe, for instance, you have about 30 pupils in your class. You're supposed to observe those 30 children while you're teaching. You're supposed to write reports on those 30 children at the same time. You're supposed to, it's so bad that some parents leave their own primary responsibility to the teachers. So I started with nursery school, for instance, and we have parents who just drop their children. They never even dress speaking well. They never even brush up. They never comb hair. They just come and dump that child early in the morning, and then they are rushing to work. You as a teacher will not allow that child stay in that class without taking proper care. So you do beyond just 2 plus 2 on the board and 3 plus 3. No. I'm saying, what I'm saying is...
The job description of teacher is beyond 2 plus 2.
I know.
It's part of your job.
I know.
That's what you're being paid for.
I know, yes.
Look at the welfare. And
to get quality, because we're dealing with the lives of children here.
It's your job now.
We're saying the same thing. If you pay me well, I will deliver.
No, I don't have to pay you well. I should pay you well. But I'm saying,
of course, I should be trained. Yes. To do that
job.
Yes.
So it is your job. Yes, you should be compensated.
So, for you to attract people like me for that job, there must be something that brings us there. So else, I will choose another one.
Accepted 50,000 naira. But because you see that we're increasing your school fees, now you're saying, no, this 50,000 naira you must increase it to 100,000 naira. I'm thinking, okay, how? Let me come to you.
So supposing, like, I decide that I'm looking for work as a teacher, and I take 50,000 from this nice school that I know that the parents can afford to pay a lot of money, and I begin to exploit these kids and start collecting extra money for marks. So you find out that if you're not also teaching taking care of your teachers, you start breeding an environment where corruption. But most times you don't even know. You won't know on time. Lots of things go wrong because they just feel like that they start being transacted. No, you have to. These are the things that actually happen.
I agree with you, but this is that corruption everywhere.
Regardless of how well you are paid, people get well paid and they still are corrupt. There is financial compensation.
I have to pause you. I'm sorry, this person I've been holding for a while. I'll come back to you, please. Felix from Ikorodu, you're live.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody. Yeah. I think one of the major issues we are having. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so for me, because I've been a teacher for quite some time now. I think one of the major issues we are having is the government is failing to regulate or to look into those that are establishing schools in Nigeria. For example, many of them, the major thing they are aiming at is making profit immediately they establish school. And so as a result of that, many of them, they cut short the salary of teachers. I can tell you in Ikorodu, it is that bad that we have teachers that are earning as low as 20,000 naira and will work for money till 4 p.m. 20,000, 25,000. Many of these proprietors or proprietors, so to speak, they are not how will I put it now?
They're not sincere.
To take care of their staff is not even their priority. Their priority is just to make money.
Yeah.
I can tell you that we have people in this country, in Kodo, we have doctors, we have people that are not even in teaching line. They are establishing schools because they want people to make money. And as a result of that, who are the people that will suffer for it? It is the teachers.
You're absolutely correct. Thank you, Felix. You're absolutely correct. So he's taking us now to the reality. We've been speaking based on the private schools that we know, but there are some private schools, like what he just said, that are really poorly paying their teachers and don't care about the quality of the education.
No, they don't care.
Just show up, do the basics, I'll pay you and go. I'm collecting as much money I can. I'm extorting the parents to get as much money as possible. So there is that category, and they do exist, and we must not
Plenty of them.
So, I was going to say, before his valid points came in, I was going to talk about having financial compensation and non-financial compensation. The school BC mentioned earlier had a structure of financial compensation and non-financial compensation. For you to attract talent, it cannot be financial compensation alone. You need to be able to make celebrating them, non-financial compensation, school boss speaking. I mean, the teachers have a staff boss.
Yeah.
Some schools have dedicated staff quarters to make life convenient for them, for the teachers themselves, and appreciate them that we might not be paying you what you could earn if you were a banker, or what you could earn if you were taking this, your talent and gift, and putting it in another industry. But we are going to ensure that you get enough achievement and celebration as a teacher. Those conversations needs to be had enough. Because when we talk about compensation, we're always thinking financial, and the owner of the business is looking at, how can I consistently pay salaries? Because it's not just about saying I want to pay you 250,000 naira. It is that, can I pay the 250K every month consistently throughout the year? And the answer is sometimes no. It might be good enough for me to pay you now. There are private schools I've heard who are complaining online that japa is happening to them, and parents don't explain when they are going to japa. You just show up in school one day and you see that you are resuming school and 50% of your class has gone. Yeah. And nobody told you they were going to go. They have jackpad. So you are now having to pay salary without a full class, and you are struggling to feel. We don't wear the shoes of the CEO. We just assume they are living large. When diesel price went up, many of them had to struggle on how to continue to power their schools and still pay salaries despite the fact that revenue was completely eroded. In that same vein, petrol prices went up as well. So we're dealing with, when we want to talk, we find it easy to just say they are making a lot of profits and they are not paying the students. But many schools will tell you the struggle of, yes, there is profit, but sometimes something cannot just take that entire profit away as well, and expenses are happening. So yes, we need more regulation. We need the regulation so that there is no exploitation. Yes. We have NLC protecting civil servants, but we do not have enough labor laws or
protecting the laborers.
We even have private school associations
for the owners, not for teachers.
For the owners.
Yes, we should have union for teachers.
So I think they should have like a base. In public service, we say minimum wage, base for any graduate teacher that's coming in. So if you're a graduate, you're coming in with a graduate in a BSc or something in education, you have that base. You're coming in as a polytechnic person, you have that base. You're coming in as a college of education, yes, you have that base. So that from that base, then different schools can now pick, do we pay a little above? Do we pay a little, not less, not less at all? Because what I see is, so I have a close relative of mine who is currently a teacher. And she's been in that school for over 4 years now, still on one salary. My salesperson earns more than her. So the last time I was having a conversation, I said, they never still move this money. And she said, no, that's what they're still paying her. And I'm like, so it's better that you pack up this teaching and come to my shop, because I will pay you more than this. And this woman is talented, she's gifted, she handles special needs children. So it's a skill that anywhere in the world, they will be rushing her, because a few people get into that. So if we have that base, it sort of helps. No, listen now, calm down.
And I hear you.
It's sort of
the point on the base.
Okay.
Let me tell you the problem with that base.
Okay.
If government or whoever says, this is the baseline, right? Don't go below this.
Yeah.
You know, these same Nigerians will go and beg Mr. John, please, don't worry. Baseline is 70,000.
Just pay me
40,000. I will take the job. Pay me 40,000. I just need this job. And they will take it.
Yeah, but you're not come outside to complain.
No, they will complain. How would you know that they are begging for that job? The man who is complaining now, how do you know?
She did not beg for the job.
Please just give me this job. I'll take it. So the point is that we, as a people, again, we have to collectively agree on
decide. True.
And they get paid. Sorry, they get paid even during the holidays, right? And that's like 1 month. So even so, that means the owners of the school have to still pay salaries.
Yes, during holidays you get paid.
You know, they think
we have to wrap up on this, but I think we definitely understand the perspective of the teacher. We also see the perspective of the entrepreneur, and we just hope that there will be maybe some regulation to help,
ensure there's no exploitation.
Make it more that there's no exploitation on the part of the teachers. I think that's the best we can do on this topic. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, move on to our next topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.